also should have mentioned this before. I'm catching a cold, so I
Okay.
sound a bit...
That's good.
Anyways, okay, your thoughts on Baby Driver other
Okay,
than...
we'll start with Baby Driver.
Yeah.
So Baby Driver is about Baby, the driver, who drives for Kevin Spacey, who's some sort of criminal, bank robber type.
There's really not a lot of depth.
There's not a lot of plot, really.
It's just he's a good guy, they're the bad guys. He's a good guy, got strung in with the bad guys,
Yeah.
unfortunately. He's a kid on the wrong side of the block.
He stole something from Kevin Spacey when he was younger.
You don't even know what he stole.
Yeah,
You
it
just
was
stole-
just just valuable stuff,
Yeah.
like worth a lot of money.
Expensive stuff.
When you think about it, it might not even been that. It might have just been at the time he said to him, that was worth a lot of money, you've got to pay me back.
Yeah.
I don't know where he got his crazy driving skills from, but that's alright.
No, it's okay.
Doesn't matter.
All that matters is the actual driving.
All that matters is that it's a pretty cool movie.
That first scene was amazing. Like when he's just escaping and he just like, so
Yeah.
good.
So all the performances are really good.
Yeah.
I liked all of them. Even the girl was good because she doesn't have much to do,
No.
but she's
She's
good.
entertaining.
She's just
entertaining to
nice.
watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's entertaining to watch. I guess like the way to describe this whole film itself is just like it's good. It's just
fun.
it's just good. There's no real
It's good fun.
substance. There's no,
I wasn't blown away by anything, but it was good
No,
fun.
it was just like an enjoyable movie. There
Yeah.
was decent directing, decent acting,
Yeah.
all the good things.
I mean, I know that it gets... I think it's judged more harshly than it probably should be because it's an Edgar Wright movie, because some of his other movies are so great and so unique.
Yeah, but sometimes you just want to like be a free bird, you know? Just
Well,
be
yeah,
like,
it's the least Edgar Wright of his movies,
yeah.
I'd
Well, it's
say.
like I don't want all the toppings on my pizza. I just want cheese. That's it.
Mm.
That's
So,
what
yeah,
this film is.
we know
yeah.
what he's been working on since he walked away from Ant-Man.
Ant-Man was good too.
I wish he'd been the guy who directed Ant-Man, though. Apparently his script for Ant-Man was 10 times better than
Oh, really?
the one that they did. So, yeah.
You can't have it all, Ren. You can't
No,
have
you
it
can't. You can't.
all. Where's my thing?
It's a good question. I've completely forgotten it. But you still sound alright.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's all good.
Yeah. I've got a very quiet voice, apparently. Not really.
Do you?
No.
Okay.
My voice is very piercing.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ren. Would the scene with him and I just know her as the actor from Cinderella. Like I don't know her actual name, the girl.
His girlfriend in it,
Yeah.
Deborah.
Yeah.
I don't know her real name.
Yeah,
I don't think I've
yeah.
ever seen her anything
She's in
else.
Cinderella, the
Yeah,
Disney
so I haven't
remake.
seen it.
Oh,
So I watched it and I was going, I don't know who she is.
okay.
She's
well,
alright.
like,
She's good.
She's okay, but
She's good.
like all the scenes with them two together just made me die on the inside. I don't know why.
I think it was. I also like people
So
have been
full.
saying that they're badly done scenes, but I think they are done very intentionally to be kind of cheesy.
Yeah, I was gonna say very cliche.
They're very like. It's underwritten because there's not much of it, but it's very classical Hollywood, almost like
Yeah.
the supposedly charming guy and the sort of cutesy girl.
What accent is hers? Like a
She sounds like she's got a slightly southern accent.
yeah, that's what I was
What's that?
saying. Like
yeah,
you know, there's old-fashioned films of the Southern girl, and
yeah.
you know, it reminds me of. It's like, have you heard that? I think it's a song by Prince where it's just like talking about how some guy picks her up, like she's a waitress or something, and then he like makes her a maid. I don't know. Is it a Prince song? It's like "Don't You
Is
Want
it?
Me" or something.
I am not sure.
It's probably not a Prince song. I'm probably
Okay.
going crazy.
You might be. I don't know.
It's something like that, but it
I
talks
know
about
Prince somewhat, but not.
Who is
really
not
that
Prince?
well.
Who is someone who is like Prince? Does Prince sing When Doves Cry? No.
Yes.
Yes, he does sing that.
Yeah,
I swear
Purple
it's-
Rain,
Yeah.
Raspberry Beret.
Yeah. It is a... Oh, maybe I'm going crazy. Well, no, but it's like, she's a Southern girl. He's a charming guy.
Yeah,
he takes her away.
It might be.
He's got like a dark past or something.
My brain's going.
It's a
blank.
very like there's old Hollywood. You're right, whole
Yeah,
Hollywood.
old
And then
Hollywood
there's
stuff,
even
yeah.
that scene where he likes coming out of prison. She's wearing like that dress with the big car.
Yeah, because he has that he has a fantasy of like black and white, him walking out of somewhere. I don't think it's prison, is
No.
it? But she's like, and it looks very like old Hollywood. She's
Yeah.
got like a really old car,
It's retro. It's
and she's wearing sort of a very like,
this
50s dress.
Yeah, like the sharp shoulders and
Yeah.
then tapers in
Yeah.
really, and then it's like a huge skirt. Yeah, great outfit.
But,
Good times.
Yeah, very just simple plot. He's got to pay back his debt, and then he pays back
it
his
back.
debt, and then he finds out that's not where it ends. It's like, oh yeah, but you're really good, so we're just going to hang on to you, sort of
Yeah,
thing.
and then he
And
like
he's like,
kills all
"Nah."
these people, and there's this one scene that always. Well, there's one kind of thing that kind of bothered me throughout the film. It's not necessarily like a bad thing. I guess it's kind of a character trope that they threw in.
Yep.
But it bothered me because in my head, I'm like, is this guy stupid? Because Baby, so I think his real name is Miles in the film.
Yeah.
We'll just call him Baby.
Yeah.
Baby, like, for some reason, like, after the first initial chase scene and all that, and they're splitting the money because they've robbed a bank, I think.
Yep.
This one guy's telling him, he's like, oh, one day you'll spill blood and you won't be able to come back from that or something. I can't remember
the John Berendorf
yeah,
character.
I can't remember the
Punisher.
exact. Yeah. Appropriately casted.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I can't wait for that series. Yeah.
not about Marvel or DC today, right? Please. And then afterwards, like, he sees some guy getting shot in the next kind of chase,
Yeah.
and he just freezes and like currently like fucks up and all that
Well,
stuff.
it's like he doesn't really freeze, but it's sort of, you get the impression he's like, that's something I haven't seen before.
Yeah,
That hasn't
but
happened before.
then-
It's because Jamie Foxx comes on and he's
Yeah.
a bit nuts.
Yeah, Bats is a bit nuts.
He's
but the
crazy.
thing that confused me is that very final, like, you know, the last kind of big thing he's going to do, like the big chase he's going to do. So, like, Jamie Foxx and then the other two characters jump in the car, and then Jamie Foxx has shot someone right outside the car, and then Baby is just kind of looking at him, and then everyone's like, go, 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 and then Jamie Foxx is like punching him, and then I'm like, and I'm sitting there on the chair being like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? Fucking go. Because I don't know, obviously if I saw someone dead, I'd be like, oh my god. But I'm still like, oh my gosh, just gotta fucking go,
Yeah.
go. Like, in my, I guess my personality is like, I'm very panicked. As soon as something like that, my first instinct is to react and just run. So in my head, for him just to sit there and like not move and just look, I'm just like, this guy,
Yeah.
if they don't kill him, I'm gonna kill him. Oh my god, if he does not fucking move the car right now. And then he like drives it into that pole, and then, you know, spoilers, Jamie Foxx dies.
I thought the one where he froze is when Jamie Foxx shoots the guy at
Yeah,
the
that
bank
does
first,
happen,
after
and-
they do the whole Mike Myers bit.
Yeah, no, but this is the last one. This is the one with like Darling.
Because that wasn't that to do with the woman he met at the post office earlier?
Yeah, but she didn't die.
No, she doesn't die, but I don't think anybody does there.
No,
it's
no,
like
the security guard dies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he dies, but he only freezes because he's like basically giving her the signal of like, don't go inside.
Yeah, no,
Post office?
but they've already run out.
Mm.
So why does the hell she's just screaming?
Mm.
Why would she go in there though? So that's why I'm confused on why he's just like,
No, because what I remember is that he's sitting there, they go inside, and then she turns up, and then
Yeah.
she sees him in the car,
Yeah.
and he's acting suspiciously, and he's
Yeah.
basically like making
Yeah.
signals to her to get out of the way,
Yeah.
and she's like, okay, maybe I won't go inside.
Mm.
And then they come out, and the security guard comes out, and then Bats goes to do something, like basically
Bat
to kill
shoots
him.
Bat shoots him, and then
And then
Baby
it's like
just
once he gets
freezes.
back into the car, I got the impression he didn't freeze. He was just like, I'm either going to kill him now or I'm going to drive off. And he was making his decision.
Really?
And then he goes straight forward and
Kills
the thing goes through his head.
Oh, I guess he wanted to kill bats.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't think of it that way.
And
I
then it
just thought
screws
of,
everybody over.
yeah.
after that.
Well, I just took it as a, oh, he's just frozen. And I'm like, dude, can you just move? Oh my God. Like, I don't know why. I guess it's the sense of urgency I always have. I always have a rush. Like, I'm always in a rush.
Yeah.
So for him just to be like, and then you hear everyone yelling at him. And I'm like, oh my God, just fucking move, just fucking move, just fucking move. Like, it was driving me nuts. I was like, I'm going to kill this guy.
And they try to.
Yeah, they tried to.
But yeah, there wasn't... it's not as... it's funny because it's over the top. Like, it's heightened, but it's not heightened to the level of other Edgar Wright movies.
No.
Like, it's not like Hot Fuzz or Shaun of the Dead or any of his other films where it's like... It's cartoony in a way.
Yeah.
But really good.
Yeah, no, it was a good film. That was probably the only scene where I kind of got frustrated. I'm just like, oh, this guy, just freaking drive, man. Fuck you.
Yeah.
That was
That's
probably-
fair enough.
It was so frustrating. I don't know why. Anyways,
But yeah, Kevin Spacey's good. I mean, he plays himself, but he's good.
the last
Yeah,
scene was really weird as well. Sorry, I'm just bringing up all these things that I thought were weird. Where, like, you know, Kevin Spacey, so everything's fucked up, right? Everyone's dying. A baby's, like, running around. He's taken Deborah and they're driven off.
Mm-hmm.
And they've
he
driven
goes to him for help.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then he's like, I'm not helping you, blah, 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 this place is closed. And then Deb just comes up and he's like, come on, let's go. And then he's like, oh, fuck. Like, and then he just goes and helps them. And I'm like,
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I suppose it's the next best thing he can do at that point. Like, he's not getting anything else out of it. But then he does get killed.
Yeah, so I'm like
immediately.
Were you willing to die for this all of a sudden? Like, you went from literally not giving a shit about, like, I assume anyone else but yourself, to, oh my God, love, true love. Got to support that shit. Like, I was a bit confused in his sudden character change. I guess it was kind of one of those things where it's like, oh, well, we've got nothing to do with him. Might as well just kill him off.
Yeah.
Not necessarily something worth, like, criticizing over, just kind of a weird, like, okay. I guess.
It's like, nobody else really matters apart from Baby in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, he's the only one who really gets much to do.
Yeah.
Character-wise. Everybody's got a little something, but nothing that major. Like, John Hamm's, like, apparently, like, some sort of stockbroker or something.
Yeah.
But he actually he does bank robberies to fund his drug habits with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And he's got, like, a family at home, apparently.
Oh.
Or something. I think that's what they said, like, he might have had a family
a wife
at home.
or something. And
that's
then...
what Jamie Foxx was, like, reading into him. There's a good scene at the diner.
Oh, yeah.
Where they all go there and Baby's trying to hide the fact that he knows Deborah.
Yeah.
And she's serving them. That was good.
Yeah, it was very good.
That was when Jamie Foxx was at his best. He probably had the most character apart from Baby.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't have much... still didn't know much about him, but he had the most
like,
acting-wise. His performance was good.
Yeah. Sorry, my ear's itchy.
I did like how, like, it started off where, like, John Hamm and his girlfriend...
Yeah.
Like, they liked Baby.
Yeah.
And then it's ultimately they completely turn around.
Yeah, I know.
Because of what he does to them.
Well, that's the thing. You think, like, Bats is going to be that person who kills everyone, goes crazy. Because, like...
He kind of does.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, but you think, like, what's his name again? Like, Darling and...
Buddy?
Buddy, yeah. Darling and Buddy, like... Both of them are really, like, friendly with Baby. They're just like, whenever someone, like, bullies him, he's just, oh, come on, lay
like,
off. He's a
sort of
kid,
thing.
you know, don't worry. Like, he's just a kid.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. And then at the very end, Buddy's kind of the one who's like,
Buddy's like the main antagonist.
Yeah, I'm going to kill you. And it's so bizarre, you don't expect it. I did not expect it. I was like, oh, God, okay.
As soon as Darling died, I was expecting it.
Oh, well,
like, I was like, yeah, he's going to go nuts now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I sort of expected Jamie Foxx to be the main
antagonist.
Bad guy for most.
Yeah.
But, and he kind of is, but it's not that he's making evil decisions, he's just making impulsive ones.
Yeah.
It's like he's just a bit nuts, he's a bit off, and he's just like, oh, these guys are cops.
Yeah.
Let's kill them.
Yeah.
And then they do.
Yeah, and then bananas. It's like, bananas. That's my safe word. That was probably the funniest thing. I was like, oh, damn. Anyways. Okay, so... Dunkirk?
I mean, yeah, that's really all there is to say about it.
Baby
I mean,
Driver.
we've spoiled it, but that's fine. It's still fun. Still a fun movie. It's more the way it's done than what it is.
It's more the artistic style than the actual, like, story, yeah.
It's well executed and it's fun. So if you like fun, see it. I guess.
What's a fun... I watched Fantastic Mr. Fox over the weekend. If you like movies like that, you can watch Baby Driver. Except there's more blood.
Except there's more violence in Baby Driver. I'd say if you like Edgar Wright movies, but because they're all pretty violent.
That's true.
Say if you liked Kingsman, you like Baby Driver.
I was gonna
actually.
say, I think, to be fair, Kingsman has a little bit more, but I don't know if it's the fact that...
I think Kingsman's better. But
yeah. Oh, Kingsman has Colin Firth. Oh, Kingsman. He's beautiful. Sorry, I like watch Pride and Prejudice and stuff like that. Like, let's just lay down the ground. I watch Pride and Prejudice.
So does everybody.
No, like the old one, not the one with Keira Knightley.
The
one
old
with
one.
the weird one. With Keira Knightley.
Why would you talk about Colin Firth and then not be talking about the old one?
He's so freaking so beautiful in that. I'm just like, damn, son. He's like one of those guys, I'm like, you can be 800 years old and I'd still marry you. You'd be that classy. Or him in King's Speech? So good.
King's Speech, yeah.
So good. Anyways, enough about that.
So yes, Dunkirk.
Possibly
Christopher Nolan's strongest visual movie.
Not a lot of expository, a lot of just...
like no dialogue.
Like maybe...
Nothing.
There's Harry Styles, which is interesting.
Yeah. And you didn't recognise him when you saw him.
He was
you had to
good.
confirm by the end of the movie that it was him. And I was like, it was him.
I mean, for a first time, like, you know, in an acting role.
Has he done anything else? I don't even know.
So.
I don't follow his career.
No, neither do I. But he was very good. I honestly was very surprised.
I mean, it's about the evacuation from France of the British and French soldiers.
Yeah.
Trying to get into the UK basically, and it's always been sort of marked as one of the biggest logistical army screw ups in history because they just had nothing to do. They couldn't get them out.
Yeah. What happened in can I just, I know I sound so uneducated when I ask this, but did what really happened in the film happen in real life? Is that what happened?
Sort of.
Okay.
It's not, this is a dramatised
Yeah.
version, and it's obviously condensed because I can't remember the actual timeline, but it took much longer to get them out.
Yeah. Pretty much, sorry.
And also, like, Nolan plays with time.
Yes, that's
really,
it was
really,
so well done.
Really well done, actually.
Spot on.
How he does it. It's so there's a week when you're watching it and it's on the beach. That's taking place over a week. When you're on the boat with Mark Rylance and his sons, that's a day. And I believe Tom Hardy in the Spitfire, that's about an hour or so.
Yeah, because he's only got a few gallons of fuel.
Yeah, he's only got so much fuel.
Yeah.
But then it's like, because they're all playing at different speeds pretty much,
Yeah.
then they all come together at the end.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it's really weird because obviously Tom Hardy's one is like stretched out, like
Yeah.
in terms of, and then whereas the one,
beach one
the mole
seems
is
pretty. Yeah.
You have to cut out. There's quite a bit you can tell that's been cut out in terms of to condense it. It's so bizarre because the first like maybe 20 or so minutes, I kind of didn't understand what was really going on. I thought they were all happening simultaneously.
And then you asked me what was going on. I went, "Yeah, did you see at the start when it said the time frame?"
To be fair, I missed one of them. I didn't see the C one. But
because there's one moment in the film where it's like nighttime on the beach, daytime on the boat.
Yeah. That's when I got confused. I was like, "What?"
And you're going, "Huh?" And then you go, "Oh yeah, that's what it is."
But the cool thing is, like, there are certain times where certain timelines will just intersect completely. So, like, there's, I don't want to ruin it for anyone, but there's a scene where obviously Tom Hardy's looking down and he sees this boat, like, sinking, and these people swimming from it. And then you see a scene where,
no, it's actually like, it's maybe like a whole scene later. There's like, there's a scene of like the guys on the beach getting into and holding up in a trawler boat.
Yeah, like a tin boat.
Yeah, and then it'll cut back to like Tom Hardy flying over them as they discover this sinking boat.
Yeah,
later on. But it's like these things are actually all related, but you don't know yet.
Yeah, and then like it all comes together at the end. Obviously, it comes together so amazingly, and then, but I think at the end of the day, the main showstopper of the film was just like it's done just visually so amazingly.
Yeah, I don't know, like. There's only so much you can say about it. It's just, you kind of have to see it.
Yeah,
Like, I'm not going to say it's like some amazing masterpiece, like one of the best films I've made, but it might be my favourite film of the year so far that I've seen.
Very, like...
It doesn't need much dialogue.
No.
It's kind of told mostly visually.
It's just an experience. That's the only way I described it, was like, you go in, you watch the film, you know, in a way you know what's going to happen, and you know this is this, but it's like the way the story is told. I guess similar to Baby Driver, where it's about the visuals and all that stuff. Yeah,
but the way they do it's like just from the start. Like you have a little bit of an opening, like title crawl thing of like just explaining the bullet points of what's going on, and then it's just straight into it. There's barely anything else.
They don't really hold your hand through it. They just kind of go, "This is it. You either like this, or you can either get this, or you don't get it."
There is the one criticism I had, and I said it to you. It's like it's
very bloodless.
It's bloodless because it's like PG rating, and it's like it's. And generally Nolan's films are. Yeah. Like his Batman films and Inception and all that sort of stuff.
I said to
it still works though.
Yeah, the aesthetic of the film is very clean. Like you get a lot of shots of these just, beaches.
It looks
a lot of
clean and a bit desolate and really cold.
Yeah. And then you have these scenes where Tom Hardy's up in the plane. Everything's kind of a bit yellowy and like you can tell like, it was like so intense though. Because there's not much dialogue, but because there's constant background noise of like ticking.
Yeah. So throughout the soundtrack, there's like a ticking clock,
and it peeves me off. Like I said, I'm a very urgent person. As soon as I hear that ticking, I'm like, I hate it. God, but like something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And there's also always like gunshots.
Yeah,
a lot of gunshots throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, occasional gunshots.
It always makes me jolt.
I know. Yeah, there's a scene where they get into the fishing boat.
Yeah.
And German soldiers start shooting at it.
For target practice?
They don't know they're in there.
Yeah.
They're just shooting it for target practice on the beach, and it's just and every now and then just one goes through.
Yeah, and you don't know. And
Yeah.
so one of the guys goes, "Oh, can you go try and block the hole?" And as he goes, he gets
He
shot.
gets like shot through the head.
Yeah.
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 Oh, not
No,
through
he
the
just-
head. He gets like injured.
Yeah, and he starts
Like some
screaming.
shrapnel
and then,
goes into his eye or something. And they're
Yeah.
trying to shut him up so
Yeah.
they don't know.
yeah. So yeah, it was very like intense.
It's very different to most war movies that I've seen.
Yeah. There's no like they're sitting by the fire thinking
Yeah.
about their loved ones. It's just pure. They're
Yeah,
at war.
there's no like campfire scene where they all sit around and tell stories from back
Yeah.
home and then say what they're going to do when they get
Yeah.
back and then who's waiting for them and all that sort of stuff. There's just when those moments would happen, they're just silent.
Yeah.
They look like they're sitting there thinking about what the hell they're going to do to get off the
Yeah.
beach. Like
Well, that's the whole tone of the film. You like the whole tone of it. It's pretty much like, what the hell's gonna fucking happen now? There's never this moment of like in films, there are certain moments where it's like, oh, this is the peace now. Like everything's gonna be safe for the next 10
Yeah.
minutes. There's none
whole
of that.
movie doesn't feel
the whole
safe.
movie. You're just like, fuck.
So
Like,
there's a really good scene at the start. And there's a lot of good stuff at the start to just get you into the
yeah,
headspace of the film because first there's the soldiers walking through the town and like the flyers dropping from the Germans telling them they're surrounded.
yeah,
Then they start running and all of them die except for one, who's the
Yeah.
guy we follow through most of the film. And then he is almost shot by French soldiers defending the perimeter.
yeah,
And then he ends up on the beach, he goes to go to the toilet, and then he sees a guy burying somebody else
yeah,
who's got no shoes on.
yeah.
And you sort of wonder what that means for a bit, and you go, "Hmm."
You don't think because
You don't really think too much of it to begin with. You think, oh, okay,
Well,
he's just burying someone.
I thought that guy had just stolen his shoes and clothes. Like he wanted a new pair of shoes, just stole his. But obviously, it turns out to be something different later
Yes.
on.
That turns out to be something different. But you have that, and then they're both sort of hanging around together waiting, and then they find a guy who's wounded but he's not dead, and then they pick him up on a stretcher and they just start running to the pier.
Yeah.
That's a really good sequence because it goes on for a while, but you never like feel like
You
it
never
doesn't
go-
get boring. It's like because it's just about
Because
them.
they're constantly pushing people.
Yeah.
Because there's this scene when you're really just right down there at like the waist level, and you can just see them pushing people. And then
Because there's a
Yeah.
boat that's basically taking wounded,
yeah,
and if their idea is obviously if they can get
Get
the
a
stretcher
stretcher
on
on
there,
the
they
boat.
can go with them,
yeah,
and then they just make it,
yeah,
and
They get
but
kicked
then
off.
they get kicked off again, and they hide under the pier
yeah.
for everybody else. But yeah, it's a good scene.
Yeah.
There's
Then there's that scene where obviously like so that boat that's got the wounded,
Mm-hmm.
it like gets I think bombed from up. Is it bombed? I don't know. It's anyway. It starts sinking.
I can't remember whether it's that one though.
It is
Or
that one. I
is
do because they're under the pier. Remember?
Mm.
And the boat starts sinking, and then people start just getting crushed up against.
No, I thought the one where they start drinking is when they actually get inside and they're like eating.
No. That's
Oh no, that's later. That's
yeah,
in the
that is
that's
later.
in the evening.
Yeah, remember that they were under the pier. They hear the general / person in charge
I
talk.
hear
and
Kenneth Branagh talking.
then, yeah. And then he, as they look back, the boat just starts, sinking, and people jumping off,
Yeah.
and it gets crushed.
Which is a great scene as well, just the way that starts. It's
Oh.
like there's a shot that was in all the trailers like a year ago
Yeah.
almost, where it was like all the guys on the pier just watching, and then you can hear the planes diving,
Yeah,
and it's like quiet at first, and then they all start like looking up,
yeah.
and then it comes down, and they just start blowing the shit out of
Yeah.
everybody, shooting people, and
Well, like and they start like they do this thing where they cut to like a lot of scenes, like this person's getting drowned, this person, and then it's like it's so intense because then the ticking comes back in,
Yeah.
and it's like really quick. It speeds up and slows down, and it gets really quick, and you're like, oh, and I'm just like, oh my god,
what they do before everything starts though, it's like there's been a period where it's like things are moving
Yeah.
and it's tense, but it's like the music's going, and then
Yeah.
there's like the ticking and all that sort of stuff, and then like it'll build, and then
Yeah.
everything just goes quiet,
quiet,
and
you're
then
like,
something
fuck.
happens.
You're like, oh fuck, and then everything just goes like fuck shit,
Yeah.
fuck me, man. It's like Game of Thrones. It's just like,
Which you have to get,
and you die.
yeah.
Which I do need
which
to
you
catch
have
up
to
on.
catch up on.
I will.
Yes,
I
you do.
just it's too emotional for me. Speaking of emotional, that final scene, I don't want to ruin it for people. Not the one with Tom Hardy, the one with just the two generals. I don't know what they're called.
There's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. Oh,
There's a lot of good stuff with Kenneth Branagh in it, actually.
Oh,
like
yeah, he is.
he's not He's usually over the top in his movies, but he's very understated.
Is that Lockhart? Sorry.
Yes, that is Lockhart from Harry Potter.
No, but he's just like, he's a very... The way he's through, like...
He just looks concerned the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, I've got to get these people out
out.
of here.
I don't know how the fuck I'm going to do it. But then, like, the very last scene, there's him and this other general...
Yeah, he's like his second in command, lieutenant.
The lieutenant. Like, lieutenant gets on the last kind of... In a way, the last boat. Not really.
It's nearing the end of the film.
Nearing the end, yeah. And then... he just kind of said, "There's like, you know what? I'm going to wait for the French."
Yeah, he closes the pier thing behind him.
Yeah, and then like the scene is.
He goes, "I'm going to wait for the French."
And then as like the boat goes off, like the lieutenant like salutes him.
They salute.
And then I don't know why, but I was like, so emotional.
What I liked about that is that they didn't do the whole thing that, and like, because the movie isn't like a typical thing. Again,
it's not a sub story.
They don't do that whole thing where they're like. They have a shot of the guy and he's like doing the salute, and then they go like right close up onto the commander as he gives the salute, and then there's like the music gets louder.
It's not a sub story.
Yeah, it's just like stuff's happening.
This is what it is. Yeah, this is war.
There's some really great shots. The one it's in the trailer, I think. It's really great in the film as well. It's like the first bombing run.
Yeah.
That you see, like when they're all standing on the beach, and you can see them for quite a long way. And then it's like they all just lie down, and then it goes to like a side shot of the main character, sort of like holding his ears and and then you see all the bombs going off in the background, like getting closer to him, and then like the guy next to him gets hit and gets
flown off,
and then it stops, and you go, and like he just gets covered in sand.
Yeah,
but it's a very good shot.
It's a very intense shot. Yeah. Like I know this sounds weird, but he's not going to die. But at the same time, like all this stuff happens, you're like, is this it? Is this it? And I'm like,
because you're putting yourself in his position.
Yeah, like there's so many positions where you're just from his point of view. The scene where I don't know that French guy who stole the shoes.
Yeah, so the guy you see at the start burying.
Yeah,
he's a French soldier trying to push ahead to leave with the British.
Yeah,
first, and Harry Styles thinks at one point that he's a German spy until he reveals that he's a French guy.
He's like, I'm French. Sorry. But like the scene where he dies essentially is like, I was like partially traumatized. I was like, oh god. It's like bloodless, but pretty much what happens is like there's that sinking boat they're all in. It's way in the middle of the sea now because it's floated somewhere. And, it starts tipping to one side. Yeah. And obviously they're all trying to get out, and his necklace gets caught.
Yeah.
And he's just there trying to scramble for it, and you just see him disappear. And I'm like...
kind of disappears, and you can just see his hand.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck?
There's some really good, like...
There's some grueling traumatic... I would not recommend this to any kids, by the way.
I know. But, like, the one thing that Nolan does really well is, like, lots of his stuff's real. Like, they actually do a lot of stuff, and... Some of the shots where it's like they lock off the camera on the boat, and the boat's like turning and sinking, and the camera's not moving. You can just see like the water's just rising, and like people are trying to climb like over the boat, onto basically the underside of it because it's turning over.
Yeah,
some of that's just really well done, and
it is
freaks you out watching it happen.
Oh my god, it's like realistic. Like like in regular films, they just have like the boat tips over and then they somehow pull free and they get up and there's like
I don't know. It's
but there
war films do have a different set of rules.
Yeah,
in a way, like you generally know that most of the characters are probably going to die, or like most of them have a good chance. And there's some really great ones that have been made there, but yeah, it's varying degrees. So I'll talk about like Hacksaw Ridge last year is a lot more traditional in the sense of a war movie. It's still really good. It's really great, but it's not the same sort of movie.
No.
This is like, if anything, actually feels more realistic.
Oh, definitely.
But Hacksaw Ridge is like, it's realistic in its depiction of violence, but it's still quite stylized. And like, it's funny because me and another friend were talking. Went and saw Hacksaw Ridge. Most of the stuff you see in the trailer of Hacksaw Ridge, there's a bit of the action, but they don't show you any of the real graphic stuff, obviously, because you can't put that in the trailer. They just mainly show you like the first half of the film, which is back in America when he's like younger. Yeah. Well, not even like that much younger. It's like some of the stuff when he's a kid, and then there's all the stuff with the woman he ends up marrying, and like it's kind of romantic.
Yeah.
And so you go and see Hacksaw Ridge and there's all these couples
Yeah.
going to see it. Oh, this is going to be a nice movie. And then halfway through, it just turns to this horrendously awful, brutal war film. Yeah, and it's really, like, confronting.
Yeah.
Some of the violence in it is really horrific.
Oh, God.
You sort of like watching, you go, oh. And
Like,
they all start,
you're like,
and then it's like all the couples start getting uncomfortable. It's really good. Because there's stuff like, you go from like this nice love story and then suddenly a guy's picking up like the torso of a guy's corpse with the head and he's like dead and he picks it up just to shield himself as he's moving forward.
Wow.
I mean, that's like, it's pretty much the sort of stuff that happened.
Wonderful.
In,
Reminds me of, is it The Dressmaker? Not in terms of violence, but in terms of like, or not for Dunkirk, but Hacksaw Ridge, where it's like the first half of the film you think it's like some rom-com where, you know, she comes back
and then he dies.
And then he dies and it's like, oh no, this is a revenge story, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Fuck you. And then like everything shit goes down. I loved that film so much and so dearly.
It was a fun film.
Oh, it was one of those films where I'm just like, you know what, this film, I'd put it in my library like forever. I just like how, like, because you think this part of the film's coming to an end because, you know, they're happy, they've kissed, they've made out, she's figured out what happened, she's happy, she's with Liam Hemsworth,
and then the top of the silo, I bet you I can jump in.
And then she's like, because the first few seconds after she jumps in, you're laughing and blah blah blah, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh,
he's dead.
Oh. And then he died, and then he's like, oh, the film, and then they're like, no, surprise, motherfucker, the film's not over yet. Shit's gonna
keeps
get real.
going on for a while as well.
And shit's gonna get real. My favorite scene is like when she sets fire to the whole thing. She rolls that carpet down, or the red carpet. She walks down and she's just standing there while the whole town's aflame.
But yeah, like the.
Anyways,
but you get like lots of different types of war films, and some of them are like early war films where it's a bit more. I don't know, there's like pre-Vietnam and post-Vietnam War movies, and it's like the pre-Vietnam War movies are kind of like positive. Like you get stuff, I'm not saying it's like not so much positive, but they're a bit more light.
Yeah.
And then it gets like Vietnam, and then you get films like Apocalypse Now, which is just incredibly, it's 3 hours and it's really hard to watch. It's really depressing.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's great. Yeah. A great movie. And then you get like Platoon and all these other films, and then that eventually goes back to World War II as well, where they make like Saving Private Ryan and a lot of other movies. But yeah, the only real, that was the only, like, and I don't think it was as part as the violence, you know, the bloodlessness of it. That didn't really matter when it came to like the later stages, where it was like the ships and the planes and all that sort of stuff, because you wouldn't notice. But the only time I thought it was noticeable was on the beach at the start.
Yeah.
Because it's like you watch other movies, like Saving Private Ryan, there's like a river of blood going down the middle of the beach because it's so like horrendous.
It's like, because towards the end, I think the film itself just focuses on like building tension, you know, like kind of, I don't know how to describe it, Ren.
It's just a very intense movie.
Yeah, it's just one of those films you watch it.
It keeps your attention.
Yeah. Like there was not, you know, like some films you watch to a bit and you're like, okay, my brain can fall asleep.
Yeah.
Like all through Transformers.
My brain couldn't fall asleep during that. I was too frustrated. I know I got a headache.
Oh no, I literally was like, I'm going to fall asleep. Anyways. But this film, like the whole time, I was just like on the edge of my seat. I couldn't relax. I feel your whole, like there's an involuntary response from your whole body. You're just like, you saw me. I was just like, oh my God.
I will say it's a very Nolan War movie because it's kind of emotionless in a way.
You don't really get attached to any of the characters.
Well, his films aren't emotional.
Yeah.
I wouldn't describe any. His films are cool. They're really cool.
No, Interstellar's emotional.
Yeah, but that's like one of his not as good.
Murph, don't
like
let me
it
go.
was like he was trying to prove that he could do emotional stuff, and it didn't quite feel right.
Oh my God, that scene with
mostly because the film doesn't really make sense.
Well, yeah, no, it doesn't.
And you're like putting what?
When you think about it clearly, you're like, what?
It's like bookcase. Interdimensional bookcase. What's happening?
What the fuck?
What's going on?
Yeah, so I can't get that.
Murph and then
like, please don't let me go. I can't get over that. Sorry.
I mean, it's still good.
It's like Batman.
It's still alright, but it's not one of the films like The biggest problem I had with Interstellar was how long it was. I was like, oh my
so
God.
fucking long. Look, I'm going to be frank with you. I did love Interstellar. Like it was like the first movie I watched where I was like, I came out of the cinema and I'm like, oh my, well, not the first movie, but the first movie I watched in a long time. I came out of the cinema, I was like, oh wow, like I was pretty blown away by the visual and the graphics and all that. You're right though. When I actually sat down to have a proper think, because I was talking to my friends about it, and then I was like, because they were like, oh, what's it about? And I just was like, it's about.
Oh, yeah, that's weird.
Well, the first part kind of makes sense. There's no food on Earth.
It's still no. I don't mind the concept, like the original idea that's the whole, but it's
just the last part that kind of took a shit.
The whole
itself.
last bit is
love.
Is weird.
My love is sorry.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I was like, why couldn't he just be sucked into a black hole and just killed? Like, please.
Also, Matt Damon being some sort of weird villain at the end was strange.
Wolf? Was his name Wolf?
I can't remember.
And then, like, he was like, love is quantifiable or something. I'm like, fuck you.
That's what happens when the Martian's left on there for too long.
Yeah, I know.
But I still think my favourite Nolan film is Inception. But I think, and like, it's pretty much a classic movie now. Like,
yeah, everyone knows about it.
Everybody knows it. Everyone knows what you're talking about when you mention it. That's going to be like, it's going to be remembered for a very long time. But it's still not particularly emotional. Like, there's the emotional plot of like, oh, his wife died and everything like that, but you don't really care. It's more because you're invested in the concept than you're more than you're invested in the actual people.
It's building upon an idea, I think, and the execution of the idea, not necessarily. I think his films
Nolan's a bit of
really
an emotionless robot.
I don't mind. I actually I would.
No, he's not a bad filmmaker. I'm not saying that.
He's very he's like an architect. Very straight lines. Planned to a T.
Like, I don't think he could make Hacksaw Ridge.
No.
It wouldn't come off. You wouldn't get the emotion.
It's a very stiff film, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not in the sense that
nobody breaks down.
Yeah.
Everybody's just kind of like dead face.
Yeah.
Not that that's bad. Like, Kenneth Branagh's still good. And
it's very iconic, kind of that style.
And
I guess.
Tom Hardy's does excellent eye acting.
Just the eyes are.
It's like all of his movies now. His face is
Mad Max.
Bane.
Bane
in another Nolan movie.
He's just got very expressive eyes.
He's just a very good actor. I think he's one of the better actors working at the moment. But Nolan's Batman movies are good, but it's The Dark Knight's really the good one. The Dark Knight Rises is okay, and Batman Begins is pretty good.
Mm-mm.
And then, I think the only film I've seen of his before then is Memento, which is sort of another case of the concept is more interesting than the actual, like, emotions of the film. Yeah, that's fine. Somebody's dying somewhere.
It could be a fire, you don't know. Either way,
someone's dying in a fire somewhere. But yeah, Memento is like his second feature film.
What's his first one?
It's a film called Following, which I haven't seen either. And that's a black and white movie about a guy who follows people around to get characters for his novels, I think. I think that's the concept. Yeah. I want to see it, but I just...
Yeah.
But yeah, like, Memento's the one that's told backwards.
Oh, okay. Wow, I sound really fast, sorry.
You basically start at the end and you end at the beginning.
Oh, I'd be into that.
Haven't you seen it?
No, I'm sorry.
I thought you would have seen it.
I'm not a big... I never followed Christopher Nolan that much until Dark Knight series.
Yeah, same. Until he made the Dark Knight, I think, was the first film I saw of his.
Yeah.
Because I remember at the time of seeing his Dark Knight, I wasn't particularly interested in Batman. I hadn't seen Batman Begins.
See, the thing is, I had watched the Tim Burton Batman.
Yeah.
The one with
Jack Nicholson.
No.
Danny DeVito.
Yeah, that one. I watched that.
The
and
second one.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I know I'm really... Every time we diverge onto superheroes, I'm sorry. But, like, I know this is kind of...
every movie now.
I know we're kind of cutting weird paths, but I actually watched that one. I think it's Batman Returns, the one with Danny DeVito.
I think that's it, yeah.
And then afterwards I was like, oh my God, such a good movie. I love Michelle Pfeiffer, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I watched Batman and Robin.
Oh, God.
Like, literally
That's not Tim Burton or any of them.
No,
That's
but I was like,
garbage.
well, the thing is, you go on Wikipedia, because back then, what am I, like, what was I, like, 16? I don't know.
You couldn't be that old, because I was like 14 when The Dark Knight came out. So you might have been like 12.
No, this was for Batman Returns by Tim Burton. When I first... No.
Okay. No, but did you say it was like around about the same time?
No, maybe I was
Dark
like...
Knight?
Maybe I wasn't 16. How old was I? Either I was really young. Back in the days where I was like... The most useful resource I had was Wikipedia. Which technically still is the most useful resource I have. But what I did was like, you search up Batman... the film or whatever, and then you look at all the different types of films, because at the bottom it says like filmography.
It's like, films appeared in anything.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, so there's that. Oh, and I liked Robin as a character, so I was like, okay, well, let's do Batman and Robin.
And they turned him into a whinging bitch.
And I was like, and then I was just watching it, and I'm like,
Dumbest piece of crap I've ever seen. Yeah. Oh, she can't come in. She's just gonna have to sit there.
oh, Shay. Oh, she looks so angry.
Yeah, she always looks angry.
That's true.
Always looks angry. Yes, anyway, you're saying. So you have the...
Is this our trademark now?
Yeah, probably.
Cat.
About 3/4 of the way through, and the cat comes in and starts making noise. Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, and like I was like, what? My brain was confused. I never seen, I didn't even know what a good versus bad film was. All I know was film was fun.
I've always found that film interesting because it's like Joel Schumacher made 2 good movies in his career. I don't think he made any other good films, and he's responsible for Batman and Robin. The first film he made, which was any good, was The Lost Boys.
Oh, yeah.
The vampire movie from the 80s, which is fun. I wouldn't say it's like a great movie, but it is a fun movie.
Yeah.
In an 80s kind of way. And then there's Falling Down, which is a Michael Douglas movie about a guy who's coming home, and you don't really know much about him, and then he's like a really hot day in LA.
Yeah.
And then he just goes off his shit and like basically starts rampaging through the city in a way.
Huh.
Like he goes from one place to another causing problems. And then you find out what's driven him to this point. Like it wasn't just a hot day in the car, there's a lot more to it. And at the same time, Robert Duvall's like a retiring cop, and he finds out about him and all this sort of stuff.
Okay.
It's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, it does sound pretty good, yeah.
It's good. Some good scenes. I know we always used to laugh. There's a scene in it where he goes to like a McDonald's ripoff.
Yeah.
Like I think it was supposed to be McDonald's, but they weren't allowed to use McDonald's in this film.
McDonald's.
Yeah, it's called some ridiculous name that sounds like a ripoff of McDonald's, but I think... No, it's a whammy burger, I think.
What?
Yeah, I think... Yeah, that's it. And he's like, he wants to order a breakfast burger, but they finish with breakfast, so he just pulls out an Uzi.
Oh my God.
And he's like holding everybody up. And he's like talking about it, and then there's one bit that we always laughed at, which is there's a woman there who's like in the middle of eating her burger, and he like points the gun at her and he goes, "How's your meal, ma'am?" or something like that, and she just like spits it out everywhere and makes some sort of ridiculous noise.
Yeah.
And we always used to just piss out.
Laugh at that?
You can't really explain it. You have to see it.
No, that sounds pretty cool. I'd probably
It's actually a good movie, but I'm not really that familiar with anything else.
Probably, what you hear is like probably 2 dice and then he like rolls it, and it's like sex dice. It's like kiss foot. Oh well, I guess this one's going to be a shit one. And then sometimes he'll be like, "Oh, hug body." Okay, well that makes sense. I don't know. That's probably how he does it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Anyway, how are we going for time? Sorry.
I've only been going for like 44 minutes, so.
Okay.
I mean, they don't need to be that long.
No, I think we should be talking about what we want to do next fortnight.
What's out in the next fortnight? I don't even know anymore.
I actually happen to know a Studio Ghibli festival is coming.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to force you to watch those films.
That's fine.
Because
You've only seen
a handful of them.
like 2.
So I think we should do a Studio Ghibli thing next fortnight if you want.
Yeah, we could
if
do
you
that.
want, yeah.
Do
I don't know which ones you've seen.
I've seen Princess
Mononoke?
Thingamajig.
Surely you've seen Spirited Away.
No, I haven't.
You haven't seen Spirited? Oh, girl!
No, I haven't seen it.
My goodness gracious. To be fair, I haven't seen some.
Oh, the other one is because it's not Miyazaki. That's why it's Fireflies.
Grave of the Fireflies.
Grave of the Fireflies.
Yeah,
that was good.
That made me so sad on the inside.
It's
so
very
sad.
good. Although it's funny because I can tell most of the people who think it's incredibly sad have not seen the movies that I've seen.
That's
So I'm like, yes, it is. But I've seen worse.
I think the thing that bothered... There was only one scene that really bothered me about The Grave of the Fireflies. Like, the whole show itself obviously is very sad, but the one scene that just not traumatized me. When I say traumatized, I just mean, like, really, like, stood out to me.
Stuck in your mind.
Was that scene where, like, the younger sister's pretty much... She's dying.
Yep.
And she's there and she's eating, like, the, like, pieces of glass. Mm-hmm. And she's thinking it's, like, candy.
Yeah.
And she's just sitting, and like the way she's animated, her eyes are just like black, you know. And it's so that scene like freaked me out. I was like, oh my god, like I can't.
It's a bit unnerving.
I think it's more of the fact that she was just a little girl.
Yeah.
I in a way I didn't really, not that I didn't care about what happened to the brother, but the fact that she was a little girl, and then you see like at the very beginning what she's like, and at the very end what she's like. Oh, that really like was really just freaked me out a little.
Well, we can go see Atomic Blonde.
Oh yeah, we can see Atomic Blonde. Well,
hell yeah.
You guys will find out next week what we're going to be doing.
Actually, it's funny because like so many people talk about like Grave of the Fireflies and stuff, but then they need to watch a movie called Come and See from Russia, made in like the 80s,
probably depressing as hell.
I believe the director of that only ever made one film, and that was it.
Yeah.
And I think he was asked, "Oh, why didn't you make any more films?" It's like, because that's all I wanted to say.
Oh wow!
It was like that's
is that like To Kill a Mockingbird?
Probably
the one good film.
Yeah,
but the one good film book.
Come and See's pretty. It's very artistic, but at the same time, it feels really real. And it goes from like kind of dream-like. I mean, you got stuff like it's about a kid who joins the partisan army in Russia when the Germans are invading, and then all the stuff that happens to him. And he looks like an old man by the end of the film. Like, they do something with makeup. Like, he still looks like a boy, but it's like they've aged him. Like, everything that's happened to him has messed him up so bad. And it's really...
Oh, shows like that freak me out, though. Like, whenever, like, it's something really...
The front cover of Come and See is a group of German soldiers with him in front of them, like, holding him with a gun, like, posing for a photo. Yeah. In front of, like, a burning thing. And you're like, oh, yeah, that's nice.
I think that films that psychologically mess with me are... they traumatize me. Like, when I watch them, I just hate it. I don't mind, like, violence, gore, the stuff like that. Like, I can
sometimes
do it.
that can be funny, though.
Yeah.
The way that they use it. People need to watch The Evil Dead.
Either way, like... Oh, Dead Snow.
Dead Snow, yeah.
God, that's so weird.
Dead Snow 2, hilarious.
Either way, like, films that are, like, you know, very gory and stuff don't really bother me too much. In fact, I think it's hilarious. I'm like, oh my god, his eyes are getting ripped out. Ha ha ha. But psychologically, like, shows that
is
mess
that
with me.
Why you won't see, what is it, It Comes at Night or something like
yes.
that?
Fuck me, right?
It looks creepy.
Yeah.
Or you
I
won't watch The Witch?
Oh yeah, I didn't want to watch that either. No, what was the other one? The Cure for Wellness. I won't watch that either.
I don't know. Because I
head.
hear so many varying reports about the film. I just
true.
want to see what it's like. Because some people like it and some people really hate it. So.
I fucking refuse to watch it. Like, I probably won't watch it either.
Oh, Stephen King.
Oh, fucking scary.
I want to see that.
I know, it looks really good.
It looks scarier than the old one.
Yeah.
The old one, like Tim Curry, was great, but the film was kind of crap.
Yeah, he was like
he's the good part of the whole movie.
Yeah,
everything
he's like
else
carrying everyone. But no, like stuff like that freaks me. Psychological, like I refuse to watch Saw 1 because I knew it was a psychological thriller.
Yeah, Saw 1's more psychological.
Yeah, the rest of them are all just gore fests. Yeah. But the first one, I'm just like, nope. You know why? Because I watched Requiem for a Dream and that messed me up in there so badly. Like I was just like. Because it's not like psychological, obviously.
That's not a horror movie.
It's not a horror movie.
It's just horrible.
Yeah, but it like messed me up mentally. I was just like, oh my god, I'm never doing drugs ever again. Gosh, fuck. I didn't even take a Panadol for the next 2 months. But yeah, like films like what other films messed me up? Oh, this isn't a film; it's a television show. Torchwood.
I think you've mentioned Torchwood.
Children of the Earth. Oh my god, that last freaking scene! Like I was literally traumatized. I couldn't watch television for the next like 4 months. I don't want to ruin this for anyone, so turn away if you don't want to hear it. But pretty much,
turn away from the audio.
I don't know. That's what people on TV say. But what happened was pretty much Torchwood is like an what's it when you rearrange characters from one word to make another word?
Anagram.
It's an anagram of Doctor Who. So Torchwood's kind of like the adult show. There's
because Torchwood's supposed to be an organisation or something.
Yeah, so like there's actually violence.
That's all I know
there's like
about
violence, guns, death, blood. There's all that stuff. So it's rated M. And Children of the Earth just talks about like these aliens who come over and they somehow control these all the kids on Earth, and they come down and they say, we want 20% of your kids.
Yeah.
And when they ask why, they're like, oh, the kids emit a hormone or an energy or something that gives, like, pretty much the kids are a drug. Like, they make us feel euphoric when we inhale them and stuff. And, like, there's this scene where there's this huge alien with this just kid hanging off him, like, over a tube. And the kid's, like, literally, like, completely bare. Just, you know when this... I don't know how to describe it other than you can just see his eyes and then nothing else. Like, the whole face, everything just looked melted.
Okay.
It was really disturbing. And then the most disturbing part was about the whole thing was the person in charge of Torchwood, John Barron.
John Barrowman.
John Barrowman. I can't
remember. I don't know whether that's his name.
Captain Jack Harkness.
Okay.
He finds out a way to transmit a pulse from one kid to the aliens and like just kills them, like gets rid of them. The only one kid he has is his own grandson.
All right.
And he has to, and like the kid doesn't like you just moments leading up. The mum, his daughter / the mum is like screaming. She's like, "Oh God, like no, like go home, like go home." She's getting let out. The kid's like really confused. He's a little boy, and he just puts him on the platform, and starts emitting this frequency. And the frequency, like the kid's like just spasming there, and like Captain Jack Harkness has to watch his own grandson pretty much just. He has to execute his own grandson for the greater good. And like, the greater good, and like the mum is just like completely. Afterwards, she's like kind of like I can't even describe it as messed up. She's just like, you are literally the worst person in the world to me right now. And he's like, I can't live with myself. So, and he can't die though. That's the thing with Captain Jack. He can't die, so he has to live the rest of his life with this on his shoulders. And I'm just like sitting there watching. It was a 5-episode season, man. And I'm watching the last episode. I'm like. I'm just gonna skip the next one, and maybe the rest of it. There was one season left after that. I'm like, I'm okay. Like, I'm just not gonna watch this anymore.
I watched a bit of Doctor Who when I was younger, and then I never watched Torchwood.
Torchwood's, I think, way better. Way better. Actually, worth watching. Doctor Who, I feel like sometimes it is a bit childish.
Well, it is.
It's for kids though.
It's more kiddie.
The Ninth Eccleston, the Ninth Doctor, and Tennant, the 10th Doctor, they're a bit more for mature audiences. I think...
I don't know whether it's just mature audiences. I just think more entertaining.
I think the writer for those two changed, though, when they went over to Matt Smith.
Yeah.
So the writer who did Eccleston and Tennant... he wrote for more of the audience members who actually followed the original Doctor Who, and then like for people obviously who've grown up with it and they were going to be older.
I understand what it is. These like some people going, okay, we'll take this old thing and then we won't write anything like that thing. Oh, like the first 2 Star Trek films recently.
Either way, I really enjoy.
That I'm that familiar with Star Trek. I'm just like, this doesn't look right.
Probably not.
It's just stupid.
Either way, look, I enjoyed the first 2 Doctor Who, the renewed Doctor Who seasons.
And
Matt Smith.
after that sucks.
Well, the thing with Matt Smith is, I felt like he was a very good Doctor. Like the way he was very quirky. He was that fun Doctor. I just think the writing was inadequate. Like it didn't. Yeah. You know when it's like you've got these great actors, and you've got all the materials to make a really good series, and it just didn't work out. Like things didn't work out. And I haven't been bothered with the new one. And apparently
Capaldi or the lady.
Yeah. Also, I know this is kind of like we're not talking about Dunkirk or Baby Driver anymore, unfortunately.
About some other crap that neither of us watch anymore.
But something I did want to mention was obviously the new Doctor in Doctor Who is going to be female now. Yeah. And I actually had a good number of people come up to me and ask me, "Oh, what do you think? Like, you're a feminist, but you're also a film critic. Like, what do you think? Blah blah blah." And like, I think what I had to say was. Well, 2 things. Firstly, putting a female in a male position is not the same as just going he to she. It's going to change. Like, everything changes when you change from male to female in any film. The second thing is putting a man or female in a man's role doesn't make it a feminist film. Just like putting a man in a female's role doesn't make it a misogynistic film. None of that matters. It's film. Like, it is what it is. And I think I get pissed off when girls go, "Oh, it's got a woman in it. I'm going to watch it because it's a feminist." I'm like, "Oh, fuck off! Like, fuck off!"
But that's the ridiculous thing. Is, oh, they don't look or sound like me. Oh no!
Fuck!
So
they're
what?
trained professionals who are supposed
They're
to look the
actors.
part. Oh, well, they don't, but they
It's
don't look like me.
Who did I see the other day? I can't even remember who it was, and they're just like, it's time for a female Bond. And I was like,
No.
it's like that character doesn't work as a girl. I'm
No,
sorry.
it doesn't, right? Because if you think about the way like male super spies, or especially
Yeah.
males, and then females, they work on completely different bases.
I was like, who's she going to seduce, and who's going to say no?
yeah, I know.
Like, what's the point?
Because
I
you
don't
think
understand.
guys kind of like bash their way in and like
Yeah.
shield up, but females like seduce and sneak in, and like, well, that's in my head
Have to be
how
like-
it works.
Like, she can't be like Black Widow, because that's a very over-the-top spy.
Yeah,
I
But,
just
like,
don't know why they would do it. I mean, apart from...
because Bond's
we
all
can.
Bond's all about sleeping with women and the money. She's
Because Bond's such a masculine
it's such
figure,
yeah,
so,
it's a
you know,
masculine.
of course
trope,
they want to
though.
have a go.
Yeah, but I'm like, I'm pissed off because I'm like, Bond is Bond. It's not I mean, it's not feministic.
I
It's
feel
not-
like it's just saying, why can't you just make your own? Just don't call it Bond. Just
just make it.
make
It's
a
like vegan.
make a
sorry,
lady
sorry,
spy.
vegans. But it's like, why do you keep trying to replicate real life food into vegan food? Just make your own brand of food. I'm like,
Yeah.
stop making like vegan
Making
cheese.
soy steak.
Stop making vegan cheese. Just make your own vegan pudding or something like that. I don't know. Like this ain't cheese. This is like
Skip a few steps and kill yourself.
yeah. It's so crass. Damn it. No, but does that make sense? I'm sick of like women wanting like men like spots in male films. Like
this is
to
the other
be-
thing I saw the other day. Apparently, there's not enough women in Dunkirk.
Oh fuck off! Are you fucking kidding me? we touched base on this back in like the second episode. When
We did the red pill. Yeah,
like men's lives are more disposable, so men were sent to war.
yeah.
Okay, like I'm fucking. Do you want to see
Like-
women? I'm
it's
gonna
like, by
go
the
right
way,
up to the mic.
We
Do you want to see women
did
die?
see a
Is this
couple
what
of-
it is?
We did see a couple of nurses get killed
Oh,
in
wow.
the
That's misogynistic.
ships.
Isn't it? Misogynistic.
Yeah, of course.
Misogynist. Like for fuck's sake. Like for fuck's sake. What? That's like you know what? They're probably like let's for example, they make a film at an all boys school or something about an
Yeah.
all boys school. They go about there
Not enough
wasn't enough
women in
women, there weren't enough girls. There weren't enough ugly fat no, not that I ever
enough-
believe you should call people ugly or fat.
There weren't enough ugly, fat, blue-haired women in this film.
Not enough extra girls.
We didn't see their armpit hairs. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it's like, why is it that all the girls have shaved legs? What? Like, fuck you.
Maybe they like.
It's like,
having
but then I want to be like, that's the thing of film. Film is make believe. It's this fantasy world where girls don't grow armpits, wake up with don't grow armpits.
They don't grow armpits at all.
They don't grow.
So why have hair?
They don't grow body hair. They wake up with makeup. Their hair's perfectly.
They don't have shoulders at all.
No, they don't.
No.
No, like that's film, guys, and it's like, and it's just like, you know.
By the way, not all men look like Thor as well, so there you go.
That's bullshit. They're always like, oh my god, girls are always made to look so hot and so, and you know that's not real. And I'm like, do you think all guys feel like they have to live up to Thor now? Because look at Thor, look at Captain America. I mean, look at Robert Downey Jr. He's got a son, and people still wish to fuck the dad.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, do you think people want this? Do you think guys want this?
It's
No.
funny. It's like, oh, there's this impossible beauty standard for women, and I'm like, it's
What about guys? Superheroes,
No, but
Batman,
the other thing I
Superman.
was thinking was like, so their definition of the ideal looking woman is just very skinny. Yeah, apparently the ideal looking man though is like incredibly worked out,
Yeah.
and you're going, that's a lot harder to do. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. They're like, oh, well, films set unrealistic beauty standards for women, blah blah blah. And I'm like, do you know how
it's a
many
fantasy.
do you know how many superhero films there are with just these huge buff guys?
Yeah.
Like, do you think and what that's not a beauty standard for guys that they don't have to meet? Like, there are like honestly, so many guys out there who probably feel like, why the fuck am I not ripped like Thor? And I'm like, honey, you're just not built for that shit, okay? Like,
they
just like I ain't built to look like Scarlet Witch, Scarlett Johansson, okay?
Same thing.
You know, I wish I can like flip someone over with my freaking
Look, she can't even
thighs.
do that. They have to do stunt stuff to do
Yeah,
that,
that's
like
true.
wires and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just chill out, man.
It's like, I don't look at Captain America, watch him jump 3 stories up into a window and go, oh, God, I wish I could. If only I could do that. I'm like, nobody can do that,
You
really.
know why? It's because, like, as much as I respect women and I love women and, like, you know, I'm a feminist all the way to, you know, you can, like, you know, you can point a gun in my head and I'd still say I'm a feminist. But honestly, like, sometimes I'm actually like, you guys take yourselves way too fucking. You think the world is against you. The world is not against. The world is not against you. The film industry is not against you. The film industry is built upon this foundation of, you know, like being attractive, having attractive
The film
actors.
industry is making every single allowance for them at the moment.
Well,
It's like we
Have one-
can't have Jude Ghostbusters anymore.
yeah.
Not that it would have worked
There's
with
a
dudes
female-
or women, because
Nothing can
that was
recreate
going to
that,
be. You
yeah.
can't do that again.
No. That was just... Why don't people just, like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it?
Oh, if it ain't broke, then it can be wheeled out and made and sold again.
Can you not?
I'm actually afraid for Kingsman. I'm afraid that it's not going to be as good.
Don't say that.
And not that it's
Don't.
that it's not going to live, because I don't think it's going to be as good, but I still don't think it's going to be bad. Like, I think it's going to be fun and good.
Colin Firth.
I know. That kind of sucks that they spoiled that in the trailer.
Yeah.
That he's back. I would have
Although
rather
I
they
think
had left.
everyone knew though, because he was in the cast group. Like, it was announced he was going to come back for
Okay.
Kingsman. So I think they were like, "There's no point in trying to hide something that everyone knows is going to happen."
They should have done the terrible thing they did in Spectre and
What?
had Christoph Waltz and said, "No, he's not Blofeld." No, and then 3/4 of the way of the film, you see the cat, and then he's just like, "I took my mother's name, Ernst Stavro," and you sit there going, "Was her name Ernst Stavro as well?" So it's a dude's name.
It's like,
So I get their last name could be Blofeld, but why? And why'd you change your first name as well?
because
Because it made no sense, and they had to shove him in there.
Yeah.
Because he's a famous Bond villain. That's it. Also, I was sitting there as well, wondering who they were doing that twist for. Because I was like, if you've only been watching the Daniel Craig movies, you don't know who Blofeld is.
yeah,
And if you watch the old ones, you knew he was Blofeld before that happened. You absolutely knew.
I don't know, right? Why do people do the things they do?
I remember I was sitting with
What-
my friend at the time watching it. Because I'd seen it once already, and
Yeah.
he wanted to see it. And I was like, oh, fuck, I want to see this movie again.
Yeah.
It's terrible. And then, as soon as the cat turned up on screen, I just looked at him like this.
Like, yes.
Do you get it? Do you get this
It's
stupid twist?
Hey! It's a reference. Get it? Get it, man?
You
Get
knew
it?
the moment the film was called Spectre who was going to be the bad guy. Head of Spectre is Blofeld.
Oh, good
And then they
time.
hire Christoph Waltz and you're like, oh yeah, really, I'm so confused as who he's going to be.
Well,
Apparently Daniel Craig's coming back for the next one as well.
no, he's old. Sorry, sorry, Craig.
Yeah.
You're probably a really nice man, but you're
No,
old.
the thing is I've really enjoyed Daniel Craig as Bond, even though not all of his films have been good. I mean,
don't
I enjoyed
mind him.
Pierce Brosnan as Bond, even though half of his films were shit.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you kind of enjoy all of them except for Roger Moore. And, and
It's one of those films you're like, it's just going to be like some guy dicking around with guns
it's
and
like-
shooting women.
but
shooting women?
I don't want
shooting people having
shoot-
sex. Sorry, I just missed this.
many ways.
Yeah.
I don't want to see the same thing happen to him that happened to Pierce Brosnan and to Roger Moore and even to Sean Connery,
Yeah.
where it's like they appeared in one too many films and they were like visibly old when you saw it, and you're like, this is embarrassing.
They were like, this is age for me.
This is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like you're watching like Die Another Day. Not to mention it's a garbage movie, even if he was young. But it doesn't help the fact that he looks like an old man
Yeah.
and he's trying to sleep with Rosamund Pike, and you're like, come on, man. Yeah. You shouldn't be in this.
This is uncomfortable.
The
now.
worst one though is Roger Moore in, I can't remember the name of his last film,
Yeah.
and he just looks like a really
Old man.
because he wasn't that young when he started playing
Yeah.
Bond, and he was in a lot of movies as Bond, and then it's like the last one, it's like, oh Jesus,
You're
You're
a bit of
looking
a
old
you're a
as-
cradle snatcher now.
yeah.
Awkward.
It's like Sean Connery still had some charm, and he didn't have to do much action back then because they weren't really action movies; they were
Yeah.
still espionage movies back then, but. He still looked too old.
I don't want that's what I'm saying. He's freaking old.
I feel like Timothy Dalton's the only one who got out all right. He only made 2 films, and then they got Pierce Brosnan, but he was young in both of them. He had the most violent Bond movies
Oh.
because that was around about the time of like Scarface and stuff like that. And they were like, "Oh, we need to make Bond really dark," and they made License to Kill and The Living Daylights. And License to Kill is like actually bloody for a Bond movie.
Oh.
And it's about like Colombian drug dealers, and yeah, I like it though.
Casino Royale, I haven't really stepped too much into the Bond film series or anything like that.
I've seen every single one.
Oh, wow, Ren. Wow. Someone's got an obsession.
I know. You know what? I hadn't actually seen all of them until one of my mates, he got the DVD box set. This is back when, like, Quantum of Solace came out, and he got it, and he was like, okay, we're going to watch all of them. And I'd seen most of them, but I hadn't seen all of them, and it was like, I hadn't seen On Her Majesty's Secret Service before then, which is apparently Christopher Nolan's favourite Bond movie. It's my least favourite. I hated it so much. I hated it. I was going nuts watching it. I was so bored. And that's the one with George Lazenby, the Australian, in it. And it's bad. In my opinion, it's bad. I will say that the skiing sequence that Nolan sort of copied for Inception is kind of cool, but the rest of the movie sucks.
I still like Casino Royale.
Casino Royale is great.
It's probably my favourite.
It is my favourite Bond movie.
I don't really know.
And I'm looking forward to when Martin Campbell does The Foreigner with Jackie Chan.
I can't wait for that freaking film.
I'm looking forward to that. It looks
When's
cool.
it coming out, The Foreigner?
I don't know. Let's find out. It's also got Pierce Brosnan in it, funnily enough. Because Martin Campbell also directed GoldenEye. But it looks cool. So it looks like Jackie's going back to do Western movies so that he can show Liam Neeson how it's done. Because Liam Neeson's Taken, man. It's pretty much the concept of Taken, except the daughter's dead instead of kidnapped in The Foreigner. But Jackie can actually fight. Liam Neeson just runs for like 3 steps and then they cut to another shot of him so that they don't have to watch him run for too much. Kind of like how they shoot Keanu Reeves in John Wick. Yeah. Don't let him run too long, he looks weird.
He does. Whenever you see him in The Matrix,
he runs
like
weird.
Waist up.
No, like in The Matrix he's okay because he's still young.
Yeah.
But now he's not. And it's not that he can't do stuff, but he's quite heavy on his feet. Like he's not.
He's like thud,
he's
thud,
not.
thud.
He's not quick like he was in The Matrix because he's older now. And that was the criticism I had of John Wick. It's like when it's a wide shot, he doesn't look like he's keeping up with some of the stunt guys, and then there's all the stuff of like shooting people off screen and then they fall into frame.
Yeah,
and it's like you know that they're in a really big room. You're like, why didn't they shoot him like 20 paces back before he had a chance to kill?
Because film. Because
yeah, exactly. Because if it's not in the frame, it doesn't exist.
No. Anyways, I think we should wrap it up.
We should. That was fun. Go see Dunkirk. Go see Baby Driver.
Dunkirk mainly, though.
Dunkirk mainly. Yeah. Baby Driver also, if you're having fun. Although I don't even know whether it's on that much anymore. Probably still is. It's made plenty of money.
Now. Yeah.
We'll probably watch Atomic Blonde. Maybe some Studio Ghibli as well.
Yeah.
I'll get back to you.
Guys will find out sooner or later.
Exactly.
Good. GG.
Okay. See ya.